Hey fellow expeditionists, I've been getting a lot of questions from my followers about my new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness, which I have nicknamed the Gladiator. Now I've had it for going on 6 months now, and I've put just over 6,000 miles on it. Now this is my 7th Subaru that I've either leased or owned. I've had a Justy, an Impreza, an Ascent, and this is my 4th Crosstrek overall, counting the one that got totaled by my ex. Now some of my greatest adventures have been in a Crosstrek, from Key West to California. They've never let me down. And while I do work at the Subaru assembly plant here in Indiana, I am not being paid to say this, I'm not sponsored, I just happen to get a decent rebate as an employee. And just as a clarification, the Wilderness in Sloan's Wilderness Expeditions predates the Subaru Wilderness brand by 8 years, so they copied us. So what makes the new generation Crosstrek different from the previous generations that I've owned? So the last one I had was a 2018. Well, let's start with the engine. Every previous Crosstrek that I've had came with the 2-liter dual overhead cam boxer engine with 152 horsepower and 145 pound-foot torque. But the upper trims of the new 2024 all come with the 2.5-liter featuring 182 horsepower and 178 pound-foot torque. And the Wilderness model also has a lower final drive ratio and a stronger rear differential to give it a little extra oomph when climbing steep hills or just playing in the dirt. So speaking of off-roading, the Wilderness model has 9.3 inches of ground clearance thanks to an upgraded suspension and taller springs. Now the standard Crosstrek is 8.7 inches, so it's not really that big of a difference, but it's something. Of course, as a Subaru, it comes standard with a proven symmetrical all-wheel drive with X mode, but that now has 2 settings, one for snow or dirt, and the other for deep snow or mud. Another nice feature of X mode is the handy hill descent control. Now Subaru has also changed up the front and rear bumpers to improve the approach and departure angles, and also added a front skid plate underneath. It's nowhere near as good as the aftermarket protection you can buy for a premium price, but it's a start until you can upgrade. The tires are all-terrain Yokohama Geolanders on 17-inch alloy wheels. Not the most aggressive tread, but decent for both highway driving and light off-roading. They're also 3-peak rated for snow. The Crosstrek Wilderness also got an upgrade in towing capacity. Where all other models are rated up to 1,500 pounds, the Wilderness can tow up to 3,500 pounds, thanks to an upgraded cooling fan and new oil cooler. Now I haven't installed a tow hitch yet, but once I do, I may be checking out some teardrop campers. But until then, you'll see that I have a rooftop tent now. Subaru has upgraded the roof rails on all Crosstreks above the base level so they can handle up to 700 pounds of static load. While some people will spend the money for a full replacement rack to handle the weight of a rooftop tent, I've got the Fuel Aero extended crossbars, which are rated, to handle a rooftop tent without the need for a replacement rack. Now I opted to go with the Inspired Overland rooftop tent, which is one of the lightest on the market at only 76 pounds. It's a soft top similar to a tonneau cover, wedge-shaped or clamshell, and measures 82 inches long by 50 inches wide. It has a weight capacity of 500 pounds, and it comes with a 1.5-inch memory foam mattress. And I've added an additional 1.5 memory foam pad as well, and it still closes up to less than 8 inches. On the inside, there are 2 major upgrades. First is the obvious giant touchscreen with most of the controls, but what I really like is the upholstery. This is what Subaru calls StarTex. It's a water-repellent material that makes it easy to clean, a major advantage after extended road trips like we go on. Now, the Crosstrek can seat up to 5 people with 19.9 cubic feet of cargo space behind the second row seats. But when you fold down the rear seats, that cargo space jumps up to 54.7 cubic feet. For comparison, my Jeep Cherokee has 54.9 cubic feet of cargo space. So this little Crosstrek is right on par with the next class of SUV. Now I'm going to touch on what is probably the most divisive feature of the new Crosstrek Wilderness, and that's all the body cladding. It seems that people either really love it or really hate it. I, for one, love it. While an argument can be made that it's just for looks, The fact is, it's functional in that it protects some of the most vulnerable areas of the painted body from dings and scratches that may come from driving on rough terrain. It's much easier to replace the cladding when damaged than having to get it repainted. And then there's the hood, which features one of the largest anti-glare decals I've ever seen. It is functional, obviously, to reduce glare off of the hood when you may be climbing a hill. They are pretty common on many trail-rated vehicles. Even my Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk has one. So I've taken this Crosstrek on one cross-country adventure from Indiana to Arizona and did some soft roading in the Guadalupe Mountains of New Mexico, as well as Valley of the Gods in Utah. I could definitely feel the extra power both on the highway and off-road. The EyeSight driver assist technology is amazing for long drives. I'm a big fan of the lane keep assist and especially the adaptive cruise control. There's also two drive modes, the intelligent drive mode, which is better for fuel economy, and the sport drive mode that gives a little more responsiveness to the throttle. There's really only one thing that I've been disappointed in so far, and that's the gas mileage. So according to Subaru, the Crosstrek Wilderness should get 25 miles per gallon city and 29 highway with a combined rating of 27 miles per gallon. Of course, that will vary with how you drive, the terrain, and even the weather. But I've never quite reached those levels. So far, my combined driving has been in the range of 23 miles per gallon. However, I do typically drive either with a cargo box on top or the rooftop tent, which will certainly create drag and reduce gas mileage. So that's my overview of the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. I'm sure I've missed some things, and I know the real enthusiasts out there will be quick to correct me if I got anything wrong. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to see all the adventures that this Subaru here takes us on. And you can also follow our Instagram that's dedicated to the Crosstrek under Gladiator Crosstrek. Until next time, peace out.